Hey everyone, welcome into One Cent Sports Cards YouTube channel. Today, I am doing a first video of its kind. I am doing the 2023 Topps Series 1 break guide. We're going to break down everything that you need to know before you buy into breaks. Who the best teams are, what the best sleepers are, who you should stay away from, what teams are offering which cards, what are the biggest chase cards. We're going to cover off on it all right now in this 2023 Topps Series 1 break guide. So Topps Series 1 2023 drops tomorrow, and everyone's going to be looking to get into breaks. That happens all the time with the flagship set. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to tell you which teams you should buy, which teams you should maybe speculate on, and which ones you should avoid. We're going to give rankings for every team, so let's dig right in. With the buy, speculate, and avoid definitions, let's cover off on that first. For buy, that means that's a team that has a strong auto lineup. They've got a ton of content that they're offering, both in base cards, parallel cards, autos, relics, all sorts of that stuff. They may have a big rookie or a prospect, and there's big hit potential on the team. Interestingly enough, but not surprising, those are also going to be the most expensive teams that you're probably going to find in a pick your team break. For the teams that I say maybe you should speculate, those are teams that are going to have a decent amount of content, but maybe not as much as the buy teams. And they probably will have some big hit chases, but they might not have as many of them. They could be missing some strong rookies, but have good Hall of Famers, or not a mix of the both, and lacking a strong overall auto checklist. So these are teams that you might get a nice return on, but don't expect it break in and break out. And then finally, the avoid definition. Those are teams that just basically don't have enough content to make it worth your while to get into a break. They might not have a big rookie, probably don't have a big rookie, and the big hit chases just aren't going to return enough on your value. These are usually sold below the cost of a random team break buy-in when you're buying into a pick your team. So let's say that an average team costs 40. These teams might only cost 20, but there's a reason they cost 20. They're not offering enough. So before I go down into all of the 30 teams, I wanted to give you 6 teams that I recommend to target in breaks. So my first one is going to be the best team. That's the Atlanta Braves. They have 15 base cards, 2 rookie cards, 27 inserts, 20 relics, and 48 different autos you can get out of Topps Series 1 2023. The best chase card, in my opinion, although there are a lot that you can get with the Braves, if you can get the Michael Harris 1988 Topps Baseball auto, that's going to be an on-card auto. If you can get it in a parallel, even better. That's going to be a huge card coming out of the blocks. But that's not the only auto you're going to be chasing. There's Hall of Famers like Chipper Jones, Greg Maddux, you've got Vaughn Grissom, you've got Ronald Acuna Jr. There are so many names on that auto checklist. It is a great team. If you get them in a random team break, you need to keep them. Don't trade them at all unless there is no reason. Don't trade them. If you are going to pony up in a pick your team break, it's going to be expensive. But I do believe at the case break, multiple case break level, you're probably going to have plenty of autos, plenty of parallels, plenty of that stuff coming back your way. So the Atlanta Braves, my best team. If you're looking for the most autos, surprisingly, that's actually the Atlanta Braves. But we already covered off on them. So we'll cover off on the Houston Astros, who have 47 autos. Now, the Houston Astros, this is one of my speculate teams. They've got 13 base cards, 2 rookie cards, 18 inserts, and 39 relics, and 47 autos. The best chase card is going to be the Nolan Ryan, Randy Johnson Baseball Stars dual auto. For me, that's kind of not a great chase card if you have the Astros, because half of the time it might go to the Randy Johnson team. So a little tough one here. The reason they have so many autos is they have the postseason performance autos on the checklist. And being that the Astros are your World Series champions, they have a ton of autos. So if you're an Astros fan, this is a great team to buy into. If you're not, though, I don't think that if you buy into a case break for how expensive the Astros are going to be, it's actually going to return great value for you. This is definitely a set that you would want to buy in if you're a fan, or in a random team break if you trade for the Astros, if you get kind of a second tier team, something like that. Then you might want to consider trading for the Astros, but I would actually recommend to do more of a speculation on this or see if you can find it at the right price, because the Astros are maybe a little bit better on paper than they will be when you open up the packs. If you're looking for the most rookie cards, well, there's 3 teams that have 4 rookie cards, but we're going to cover off on the Boston Red Sox. The Royals and the Cardinals, we might see them here in a little bit. So the Red Sox, they've got 14 base, 4 rookie cards, 18 inserts, 17 relics, and 31 autos. They're a very good team in this set as well. The autos you're going to be chasing outside of the typical, David Ortiz autos, the Hall of Fame autos, they've got plenty of them. The Red Sox even have a couple cut signatures in there, which are going to be super long odds. So don't expect to hit one of those in a case break. But you are going to be chasing Tristan Casas and Jeter Downs, 2 pretty big heralded rookies. So some big names there, especially out of the blocks, and assuming that they perform well coming into the season, the Boston Red Sox could be a sneaky good team to buy. Probably still going to be in your top 5 most expensive teams in a pick your team break. If they fall out of the top 5, I think they're a good deal. The Red Sox also a team that I would recommend holding in a random team break. Or if you can trade for them, that might be a team you could trade for. Just depends on the people that are in there. So the Red Sox, a very good team. If you're looking for a solid choice, the Baltimore Orioles, glad to see them on the list. Now, a lot of people are going to say that the Orioles are the best team. They probably will be your most expensive team because of who you're chasing. I still believe that the Braves, break in and break out, are going to produce more just because they have more content and they've got some very nice rookies as well. So Vaughn Grisham, Michael Harris with the Braves. Here with the Orioles, you're going to be chasing Adley Rutschman and Gunnar Henderson. The Orioles have 12 base cards, 3 rookie cards, 15 inserts, 8 relics, and 30 autos. So you can see just not quite the same amount of content that the Braves have. The best chase card you're going to be looking for, the Adley Rutschman Topps Reverence Patch Auto. That is going to be a sick RPA. It's going to be numbered to either 10 or 5 or a superfractor. So a long shot on hitting it, but if you do hit it, it's going to go for a lot of money. Other autos you're looking for, Eddie Murray, Cal Ripken, of course, Gunnar Henderson. So Adley's got a ton of different autos in this. Gunnar Henderson, not quite as many, but they are in there. And Gunnar may end up being the bigger of the 2 rookies in this class for the Orioles. So that's why the Orioles are so popular. Pick your team break. They're going to be top 1, top 2 most expensive team. In a random team break, it's going to be the team of envy. If you hit it, everyone else will be envious of you. Obviously, don't trade it unless you want to swap for the Braves. I might recommend to do that, but it's your break. Do what you want. Now for a couple sleepers. First one, going to be the St. Louis Cardinals. The St. Louis Cardinals are stacked with content. They've got 17 base cards, 4 rookie cards, 24 inserts, 17 relics, and 40 autos. The best chase card is an awesome one, but it's going to be super hard to find. It's a Stan Musial cut signature, but they've also got a lot of other content. You've got Albert Pujols autos, especially with the 2022 greatest hits insert that is in this checklist. Albert Pujols has like 3 or 4 autos celebrating kind of the last year of his career. You've got Paul Goldschmidt coming off an MVP season, rookie Nolan Gorman, a couple other rookie autos in there. So they've got a ton. And the Cardinals, although they're still going to be pretty expensive, I don't expect them to be one of the top 5 teams. Nolan Gorman's kind of the big rookie people are chasing, but not nearly as big as, the Braves and the Orioles. So the Cardinals, I think if you can get them at the right price and a pick your team break, based upon the content alone, they are going to return value. And there are some huge cards. The auto checklist is really nice. The relic checklist is nice. Just a solid overall team checklist for the St. Louis Cardinals. So don't sleep on the Cardinals. For my second sleeper, I've got the Kansas City Royals. And here's why. It's basically the auto checklist. They don't have a ton of content, but they should be cheap. They've got 11 base cards. They do have 4 rookie cards, 17 inserts, 10 relics, and 19 autos. You've got Vinny Pasquantino is kind of the big rookie chase in here. And he's kind of one of the bigger names, but probably second tier rookie compared to some of the other rookies in the set. There are some people in the hobby that are pretty high on him, but there's also Bo Jackson autos. There's Bobby Witt Jr. autos. There's a lot of other nice autos in the checklist. And for the amount that you're going to pay for him in a pick your team break, I think they actually can return decent value. It's kind of a low risk, high reward type of a team here. Also a team that in a random team break would probably be pretty easy to trade for if you get a middle tier team. So if you're looking for some Hall of Famers, some young guys like Bobby Witt, Pasquantino, all of those guys, the Royals are going to be a cheap team to buy and might return a pretty good investment on your dollar, either in a random team break or a pick your team break. So those are my 2 sleepers. Don't sleep on them, the Cardinals and the Royals. But we're going to dig in to all 30 teams now. I'm going to start with the break team cheat sheet, which you guys, if you've watched my set guides and reviews, have seen before. But it's going to be a little bit different because our top tier is going to be that buy tier. So with the buy tier, here's the teams that I think you should buy with confidence as you're getting into breaks. We've covered off on the Orioles, the Red Sox, and Atlanta. You've got Detroit in here. Obviously, the Yankees, very good here in a flagship set. They always are. So the Yankees have a ton of content. The Mets, surprisingly, I like the Mets because Francisco Alvarez has an auto only in this set. So the Mets are another team that you might be able to find a couple people sleeping on. And if you get that Francisco Alvarez auto, that's going to be worth a pretty penny. So don't sleep on the Mets. I've got Seattle in here. A ton of Julio Rodriguez content. And yes, it'll be second year, but that stuff's still going to hold value. The Phillies, they have a ton of content because of the postseason stuff. So the Phillies, very nice as well. For the teams that I recommend you speculate on, and what I mean by speculate is I'm not saying don't buy them, just don't expect a lot on return, break in and break out. Some of these teams could return a pretty decent value if you hit the right cards, but that's not going to happen in every break. One of my teams on here that I really like, the San Diego Padres. The Padres have a ton of different contents. Juan Soto now has a bunch of autos with the Padres. The Guardians are another team. They've got a couple nice rookies in here. They've got a nice amount of content, even got a couple cut signatures. So the Guardians could be nice. And surprisingly, the A's are in here as well. The Marlins, some rookies that you can find. And then with the Cubs, because of the cut autos and stuff that you're going to find with the Cubs, a very nice team as well. You'll notice I have Houston down here in the speculate because even though they have a ton of content, I just don't know that their auto checklist actually returns all that much value. And finally, for the teams that I would avoid, we've only got 8 teams on here. And unfortunately, from 2022 to 2023, we have a few teams that are repeating. For example, the Rockies. Again, just not a lot of content. If you're a Brewers fan, boy, you better be a Christian Yelich fan because Christian Yelich is Topps' go-to guy, and they don't really offer much outside of Christian Yelich. The Twins, not offering a ton of rookies. Same with the Giants. Tampa Bay goes from being a darling in 2022 to kind of a dud in 2023. Yes, you can get some Wander Franco autos in there, but that is about it. And they will be second-year autos, and he doesn't have as many as you might think. The Nationals, again, not a lot of content. Surprisingly, they do have a Juan Soto box topper auto that you can hit out of there where he's still in a Nationals uniform. Maybe a little bit of a miss there by Topps. And then the Diamondbacks and the White Sox round out the avoid list. Now, if you want to know how much content is offered per team, look no further. I'm not going to read off all of these because, boy, that would be boring. But if you're interested in a team and want to know what they have to offer, use this content breakdown. So my first 10 teams here, obviously the Orioles, the Braves, very good here. Some teams you might want to look into. The Cleveland Guardians, 21 different autos there. You can take a look at the White Sox. Just not a ton of autos. If you like Frank Thomas, he might be that they're going to be cheap, so you might buy into Frank Thomas there. But really, you can kind of see some of the nicer teams and how they bubble up versus some of the other teams. The Detroit Tigers on this page, another team I might look into as well. They've got 21 autos, should not be that expensive in a pick your team break. For our next set of 10 teams, we've covered off on the Astros. The Angels, an interesting team, have 27 autos, and almost all of them are like Mike Trout, Shohei Ohtani, Taylor Ward. But they don't offer a lot of rookies, so they're kind of that middle tier team. But if you want to chase some big autos, the Angels might be a way to go. Dodgers, not a bad team. They've got 26 autos, 27 inserts, 23 relics. Just keep in mind some of that postseason stuff. So if you're a fan of the Dodgers, not a bad team to buy into here. And like I said, the Mets, a very nice team. The Oakland A's have a pretty stacked auto lineup, a very nice auto checklist, so you can get them on the cheap, but the A's are going to have a lot of risk to them as well. And for our final 10 teams, I really like the Padres here. You've got Fernando Tatis autos, Juan Soto autos, Machado autos, some very nice players right there. And they've got a lot of content with 28 relics. The Phillies with 32 autos. And of course, my sleeper, the Cardinals, just a ton of content there. And unfortunately, you look at the Tampa Bay Rays and really only 4 autos. Stay away from Tampa Bay. There is just not a lot going on there. The Rangers, not great. The Blue Jays kind of in there in between. You could probably get them on the cheap, and you might hit some nice names out of the Blue Jays checklist. But really, you can kind of see when you talk about the content breakdown by team, the teams that you really want to look into and the teams that you probably want to steer clear of. So you guys, throw over to first, hit that like button for me if you haven't done so already. We do set guides. We do these break guides now. Tons of different content on the channel. Would love to have you subscribe. And of course, hit that bell notification so you get notified as soon as these things go live. And if you haven't done so already, check out my Patreon page. That's where you get into my breaks. That's how you get Discord community access, PSA submissions at no additional charge. There is a link in the video description below if you want to check my Patreon page out. We would love to have you part of the group. Until next time, I hope as you're out there in the wild, you're able to find some top Series 1 to rip. And when you do, I hope you rip some fire. And as always, be good to your family, be good to your friends, be good to your neighbors, and most importantly, take care of yourselves. Thanks for watching. We'll do it again soon.